Howdy folks and welcome to Jambareeqi Orange, the show where my patrons decide what I review. The options for this episode included Barbie, Princess and the Pauper, Mission Impossible, Memento, The Haunted Mansion, Brother Bear, and The Lorax. They chose Brother Bear. Set during the Ice Age and centered around an Inuit culture, Brother Bear is about Kenai, a young man who has just been given his totem, the Bear of Love. However, during the ceremony, Kenai left the day's collected fish basket out in the open, which led to a bear taking said fish. This angered and embarrassed Kenai, who went after the bear. Kenai's brother, Sitka, came to Kenai's rescue only to be killed. Enraged with a sense of vengeance, Kenai went after the bear again and successfully slayed it. But Sitka's spirit, disappointed in Kenai's violence, punished his brother by transforming him into a bear to teach him a lesson. Now, Kenai must seek help reversing said transformation by journeying to the Mountain of the Spirits, with help from a little cub called Coda. Unfortunately, we discover that Coda is actually the son of the very bear that Kenai murdered. A bunch of years ago, I made my top 5 best and worst Disney animated films list, and I actually put Brother Bear on my worst choices. I've rewatched Brother Bear since that video, but have I changed my mind? Not only do I regret putting Brother Bear on my worst list, but I also think that my original take on Brother Bear was very misguided and wrong. This is a good film. To start with, I like that our hero is quite a flawed character for a Disney protagonist. He's arrogant, impatient, and bad-tempered. It's refreshing to follow a Disney animated lead who has so much to learn and clearly hasn't grown up yet. He's not a squeaky clean Disney prince. He's a brat that we can enjoy seeing being punished, while also knowing that this experience will shape him into the great man that his loved ones want him to be. That's what Brother Bear is mainly about. Changing perspective. Kenai's transformation is a chance for him to switch places with an animal he fears and hates. Kenai goes from resenting bear kind, under the impression that they're inherently dangerous and evil, to realizing that bears only want to survive, just like him, and will only attack if provoked. It's humanity's paranoid hunting of bears that has led to bears seeing people kind as threatening violent monsters, something that Kenai best learns after seeing man from the point of view of Coda.
Those monsters are really scary, especially with those sticks.
But Brother Bear is about more than just one theme. It has layers. Another aspect of the film that I loved was its exploration of masculinity. At the film's start, Kenai hopes for a totem that will boost his ego or project his idea of macho manliness.
Yeah, I'll probably get like a saber-toothed tiger for bravery, or strength, or greatness. You know, something that fits me.
Only to get the Bear of Love, which his brother teases him for receiving. However, this totem not only exists as a way to challenge Kenai's stereotype of bears, but also what it means to be a man. Even as a bear, Kenai is defensive of his courage and survival skills.
The only way to get down is to chew your own foot off.
I don't need some stupid bear's help. I just need the stick.
Okay, here.
No, I'll do it myself. Put it back. No, where you found it.
Oh.
To the left. By the little rock.
Here?
Yes.
But once he surrenders his ego and embraces a brotherly role to Coda, he ends up becoming one with his totem, breaking the toxic belief that men need to be emotionless to be considered manly. The thing is, love is a very manly trait to have, because it takes great strength and bravery to open up your heart to others. Speaking of Brotherhood, that brings me on to something else I appreciate. The film's celebration of chosen family. After Kenai killed Coda's mother, Coda was left alone in this world. At first, Kenai doesn't really care about tending to this bear cub, but he eventually realizes that Coda's orphaning is a product of his own mistake, which he owns up to, not just out of guilt, but also because he has become charmed by Coda, a kid character that I've become fond of on a new viewing. Yes, he can be quite annoying, but you know what? Most children are 80% irritating chatterboxes and 20% adorable cherubs.
Lucky for you, I haven't lost worse than this before. Last summer, I was digging for roots with Bucky, and then
Enough with the stories. I don't care about the time you and Binky found, the world's biggest pine cone ever.
First of all, his name's Bucky, not Binky. Second, it wasn't a pine cone, it was a pine nut. And it was huge, even bigger than your fat head.
Coda does have his likable perks as a character too. He's plucky, optimistic, survival savvy, makes friends easily, and he has impressive navigation skills for a cub.
Oh, wait a second. I know this place.
You do?
Yeah, the Cimarron's not far. We just have to go through here.
What's also interesting about Brother Bear is that it's one of the rare times in which we don't get a villain. The opportunity was there to introduce an evil sorcerer or maybe a bear collector, but no. Instead, Denahi acts as the film's major antagonist, not because he's a bad person, but due to grief and revenge consuming him. He makes for an effectively intimidating hunter for our heroes to escape.
Nahi? It's me, Kenai!
But also plays a huge part in Kenai's coming-of-age tale. Denahi's rage and anger towards bears ends up being a harsh reflection on the man that Kenai was turning into before he was cursed, which helps to open Kenai's eyes to what he really looks like through a bear's perspective.
What are you doing? We gotta get out of here!
Ah!
Can I just say how amazing the animal animation is for Brother Bear? The film was co-directed by Aaron Blaise, a Disney animator renowned for his amazing animal art skills. It's very tricky to humanize animated animals, while also being accurate to the designs that nature gave them, and Brother Bear hits the nail on every frame. I'd say that Brother Bear is like a museum to a hefty craft that takes years to master, so much so that it's the perfect gateway to discovering Aaron Blaise's very underrated animal animation work.
You wanna know what I did this year?
Yeah!
I went on the longest, hardest, most exhausting journey I've ever been on, with the biggest pain in the neck I've ever met. What do you expect from a little brother?
Brother Bear features many songs made by British rock star Phil Collins, who also produced all the musical tracks for Disney's Tarzan. I'll admit that the overall soundtrack isn't on par with Tarzan's, but that's a high bar to reach, to be fair. On My Way sticks with me, I guess, a cute little number about the road trip from Coda's point of view. If that song pops up on a Disney playlist I'm listening to, I'll happily sing along. But it's the transformation song, which plays whenever Kenai is transformed by the spirits, that hits me the most. It's a truly powerful and emotional number that embodies the soul and heart of Brother Bear's spiritual message, all while fitting the moving spectacle of the transformation sequences. The rest of the songs are fine, I can take or leave them. My only real issue is with the track No Way Out. It's not a bad song on its own, but it suffers from Phil's trademark habit of condescending lyrics that over-explain what we can already see, and the song interrupts the film's most emotional and saddest scene, which could have worked 10 times better without Phil's narration.
Everywhere I turn, I hurt someone, but there's nothing I can say to change the things I've done.
This brings me on to Brother Bear's biggest weakness, and the one thing I've not changed my mind about. It's very obvious tonal whiplash. The film starts off as a subdued and laid-back animated spiritual drama, with a very dry sense of humour, but once Kenai transforms into a bear, the film suddenly becomes this wacky talking animal comedy with an emphasis on silliness. Now sure, things are meant to turn on their head once Kenai goes bear, because he's supposed to be seeing the world from a different point of view, but making every animal he meets into an excuse for a sitcom-style sketch or goofy gag kind of harms that intention. We just end up learning that most of nature is kind of dumb.
Hey, shut up! No, you shut up!
No, you shut up!
Hey, will you shut up?
No.
Just shut up!
It would have been way more effective if these animal encounters focused more on developing Kenai's empathy for wildlife, by showing their genuine everyday struggles, their talents as animals, or what makes them important to nature, because that would have fit what the film is setting out to explore. Oh, and while Rotten 2 have an organic charm to their Canadian flavoured comedy,
I mean, I'm not a bear. I hate bears.
Well, gee, eh? You're one big beaver. Don't kid me.
and contribute to the film's theme of positive masculinity by showing that men can say that they love each other.
Because I love you.
Excuse me? I don't believe I heard what you said.
I said I love you.
I love do too, eh?
I wouldn't exactly say that they're stomach-achingly hilarious comic relief characters. They're just mildly amusing at best. Voice actors Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas could have been given much better material as comics. Plus, using their bickering as a chance to teach Coda about brotherly forgiveness, while helpful, is distractingly forced into a very heartbreaking scene, which ruins the pacing and rushes Coda into forgiving Kenai, a child who needed a bit more time to process the truth. To conclude, Brother Bear isn't without its flaws, and you could argue that its portrayal of Inuit culture is very Disneyfied, but dang is it a much better film than I made it out to be before. A spiritually enriching coming-of-age road trip movie that sincerely teaches very deep lessons, all through some of Disney's best animal animation to date. So what am I going to be reviewing in the next Jambareeqi Orange? Well, that's entirely up to my patrons. The options include Elemental, Brother Bear 2, Nimona, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Paw Patrol the movie. That's a pretty awesome selection, am I right? Now, don't forget that you have to be a patron in order to access this poll. What is a patron? Don't worry, I'll explain.
This is my Patreon. It's a site for my fans to support me financially on through a monthly basis. Those who donate are called patrons. Patrons can donate as much as they want and are welcome to stop donating anytime. In return for their generosity, patrons are given exciting rewards based on their pledge amount. These rewards include early access to my videos before they go up publicly on YouTube, behind the scenes content, their name in the end credits of my videos, a chance to request a review of anything at all, and much more.
I'm very excited to see what my patrons vote for next. I've been Jambareeqi, cheerio folks.